Hello viewers! On today's news, Russian President Vladimir Putin and his associates will not go unpunished. If the death of Alexei Navalny, as reported by Russian officials, turns out to be true, the Kremlin critic's wife Yulia has said Russia's prison agency earlier said Navalny died on Friday in the Arctic penal colony where he was serving a 19-year sentence. The 47-year-old had crusaded against official corruption and staged massive anti-Kremlin protests as Putin's fiercest foe. Navalny's team said it has not yet received direct confirmation of his death and had only seen a general announcement by the regional judicial authorities. Yulia Navalnaya called upon the international community to come together and fight against the horrific regime in Russia. Speaking at the Munich Security Conference on Friday in an appearance that was scheduled before the news of her husband broke. In her speech, she expressed some doubt over the veracity of the news of her husband's death. "I don't know whether we should believe the terrible news that we are receiving exclusively from Russian state sources," said Yulia Navalnaya. "We cannot believe Putin and Putin's government," she added. "They always lie, however." She called on the international community to unite and fight evil, and that Putin and his supporters would be held accountable soon. Earlier, Navalny's mother Lyudmila Navalnaya said her son had been alive, healthy and happy when she last saw him on February 12th. According to Russian newspaper Novaya Gazeta, "I don't want to hear any condolences. We saw him in prison on February 12th. In a meeting, he was alive, healthy and happy," Navalnaya mother said in a Facebook post. According to the publication, in his last public appearance before his reported death, Navalny spoke by video link to a court on Thursday, Russian state media reported. Navalny did not complain about his health and spoke actively, presenting arguments in defense of his position. A regional court from the city of Vladimir, to the east of Moscow, told the RIA news agency. Separately, Nikolaus Gaziz, a German lawyer for Navalny, told the Daily Kölner Stadtanzeiger that he was stunned by the news of Navalny's death after seeing images of him participating in the court hearing. "He made a fit and strong impression as usual," he said, adding that a Russian colleague had visited Navalny on Wednesday, while another was currently on his way to his prison to learn more about the circumstances of his death. "There is nothing more the dictator can do to Navalny. Navalny is dead and has become immortal," said Boris Akunin, a renowned Russian writer who lives in self-imposed exile in Europe. "I also think that a murdered Alexei Navalny will be a bigger threat for the dictator than a living one, most likely to drown out voices of protest. Putin will launch a campaign of terror in the country," he told AFP. Russian Nobel Peace Prize winner Dmitry Muratov described Navalny's death as murder. "Alexei Navalny was tortured and tormented for 3 years. As Navalny's doctor told me, the body cannot endure such things." Murder was added to Alexei Navalny's sentence. He was quoted as saying by the Novaya Gazeta newspaper. Exiled Russian opposition politician Dmitry Gudkov said on social media, "Alexei's death is a murder organized by Putin, even if Alexei died of natural causes. They were caused by his poisoning and further torture in prison." Bill Browder, a British-American businessman who was once among the biggest foreign investors in Russia before becoming a fierce regime critic, said on X, "Putin assassinated Navalny. He did so because Navalny was brave enough to stand up to Putin. He did so because Navalny offered the Russian people an alternative to kleptocracy and repression." Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to our YouTube channel.